But the bathroom where the shower is just a big glass window overlooking the bed. It's not frosted. There's no curtain on it. And I'm like, am I giving
awkward.
you a show?
Yeah, like no peeking.
Yeah, turn your back.
When I know it's I lose focus, I just realign. I'm on my grind.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Everything's Perfect.
Where everything has not been perfect lately.
Can't say everything's perfect.
Can't say it is, but we're here and we're happy to be here.
That's right. And we're going to kick it off with something that we do love, which is one of our 5-star reviews. So this one says, this last episode about set life was so funny. The story about Donald almost throwing up on set was so hilarious. As a consumer of these programs, you think it comes out perfectly, and this was so real. It made me laugh out loud on my walk today. Plus the ghost. OMG, this is a must listen. Thank you so much for that review, and keep them coming, you guys. We love to read them.
We love to know that you're loving what we are sharing. Oh, God, where do we start today? First of all, hi. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. It does feel like that. How you doing? Long time.
How am I doing? That's a loaded question. Remember how you joked about like when your mom would put plastic bags on your shoes so you could go sledding?
Yeah, except for it wasn't a joke. But
No, I know.
I remember when we trauma bonded over that.
Yeah, that. So today feels like I have those plastic bags on my shoes and somebody put me on Mount Everest and said, climb, bitch.
Perfect.
I feel great. Thriving.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yeah, but it's been a week. We were in New York together. Mm-hmm. Everything's perfect in the Big Apple in New York City.
Yes.
We had a great 48 hours in New York City.
It really was. Like that city for me, it just energizes me. Even just being in it, like I don't have to do anything specific. It's just so different than Los Angeles. It's like so many more people walking, and just it feels so much older because it is.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So it was so fun. I can't wait to dive in to some stories from that trip.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to recap my family vacay after at a later date because I went from New York to my house in Florida and had a family reunion with 25 of my family members.
Yeah,
that's a podcast for another time.
It's like a several episode series.
Yeah, that could be a mini series, this TV show.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. We had a good time for the most part, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the big city.
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to be bougie AF right now.
Bring it.
I flew coach.
I know, girl. I was so proud of you. I mean, seeing you go up to that pantry where we self-serve ourselves, I was like, she ain't never had to do this before. You got her trying to open this cabinet.
No, it was broken.
I was like, she can't get it open.
It was broken. So first of all, shout out to JetBlue. We flew JetBlue. I love JetBlue. Mm-hmm. And I do typically get to fly first class, but for whatever reason, the way I booked the ticket, it wasn't even giving me the option. And I was like, okay. But also I wouldn't have, because you were coming with me. Yeah. We were in coach. And actually it was a pretty quick, like it was an easy 5.5 hours.
Yeah, no, I will say about JetBlue, because I have only flown first class, I think, one time in my life. I'm a coach traveler. But JetBlue is really nice. The seats are comfortable.
Yes.
It's more roomy. Like, than if you know, I'm the kind of person, if I want to get someplace, a lot of times I just look for the most affordable way. And I'm like, you're going to buckle down and just bear it until you get to where you're going. And JetBlue is really, really nice. So
I've lost some of my grit.
Yeah.
I feel like I got to get that back just a smidge.
Is that why the universe is sending us the challenges?
I guess.
Just to bless you with some more grit.
It's just reminding me. It's like, bitch, don't forget where you came from. And I'm like, right. I got it. But I worked really hard. But I was like, can I get another bottle of water? And the guy was like, this is your pantry, help yourself. And I was like, oh, that's a thing?
I mean, there should be a sign, because we looked at that guy who went up. So if you guys haven't flown JetBlue before, I think this is new, or I just never knew it was an option. They have a pantry where you go and you can sort through it and grab one or a couple
And we thought that guy
things.
was trying to steal
Yeah, we
cookies.
thought some guy was like going in the the stewardess cabinet. We were like, look at him looking around like nobody sees him. Meanwhile, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and we're just a couple idiots and have no clue how.
Just thirsty
how
as
it
can be.
works.
Like, can I get
Yeah.
a bottle of water? He's like, yeah, go get it. But it was broken and it wouldn't open. And I was standing there looking so ridiculous. And I'm looking at D thinking he's going to get out of his seat to come help me. And he sure didn't. And so after pulling on this cabinet for like 5 times and like the whole back of the plane can see me, I went back to my seat,
Empty-handed.
waterless. And then I said to the flight, and then somebody else walked up and there was a water side and a soda side. And she opened the soda side, no problem. And you looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, no, that other side is broke.
Yeah.
And it was, because then I had to ask the flight attendant. He brought me water. We made it there with some crooked ass necks from staring at each other for 5 minutes.
I said we should have switched seats because the whole time my neck was just it's like how we are right now,
Yeah.
except for these chairs rotate.
They swivel.
Our plane, yeah.
Hi.
So
But that was good. And then we got to our hotel. We were at the Standard. It's a nice hotel
yeah, it's
in the meatpacking district.
right. It's really cute. It like the decor is cute. I love the elevators. They always play like this circus music with these circus show kind of
Things
thing on the side.
That makes it look like it's going up and down.
yeah.
But then we got to our room. And actually, the room was nice.
Yeah.
But it definitely was, the room was made for lovers
You guys.
or individuals. Definitely not you and your bestie.
Yeah, Autumn was like, look, and I thought she was talking about the bed because there was only one bed, but it was big in New York. Like one time I
Yeah.
went to a hotel with someone in New York with one bed, and I was like, that bed, I couldn't sleep in by myself. Definitely not with another person. But this, I was like, oh, that's enough room. It's fine. Like we can share it. And you were like, no, look.
It wasn't the bed that was the problem, guys.
Yeah.
The bathroom, it's a small room, so it's not big, but fine. But the bathroom, that there's no actual door to where the sink and the bathtub and the shower are. And then where the shower is just a big glass window overlooking the bed. It's not frosted. There's no curtain on it. And I'm like,
Like,
am
this
I
is
giving
awkward.
you a show? Like, how are we doing this?
Yeah, like no peeking.
Turn your back.
And it wasn't even like the TV was opposite side. Like if you're watching TV, there's
No, I'm
a
seeing
naked
you out of
person
it.
in your peripheral. Like you see
For
it.
sure, you would have. So we had to be like, okay, you go down to the lobby so I can shower.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, just a belly button up. It was the only thing you didn't see was your ankles. Like, come on.
And that bathtub was deep. Donald almost killed himself.
Oh my God. Yeah. So the one shower I got when Autumn wasn't there, we were being strategic. I stepped out and didn't step high enough because it was such a tall, like a deep tub.
Deep.
I almost plummeted forward. Like I'm talking, my head was going to go through this door into the toilet room, which calling the toilet room a room is also being more generous than you should be. I will say, like, it sounds like we're complaining. In all
No, it
honesty,
was
I
so
loved
much fun,
was
and I loved it.
Yeah, and the hotel is really cute. I would 100% stay there again.
For sure.
But I
was
was
just-
a little surprised that the toilet room didn't have a little something. The toilet closet where the toilet was. I was
Mopping
like,
a broom in it.
yeah, exactly. It was like this feels like an afterthought. Everything else was so decorated, but it was fun.
But it was
nonetheless.
super fun. And there was a lot of other girls there that I knew from Trend and their husbands or significant others. And so we were there for the HYROX competition.
I was there to support Autumn, and I had no idea what I was getting into. It was really cool to see the competition, like from my perspective also.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I had no idea what I was getting into when they asked me to do it. So I got a text one day from Faye. She kind of runs, like she's head of Trend, kind of like below the owners of it. And she was like, do you want to do the HYROX competition? We're putting teams together for relays. Or she's like, you could do a duo, like you and somebody else, or a relay. And I was actually working out when I got the text message. And so I just Googled, because I was like, I should probably know what this is before I say yes. So I Googled it really quick, and it's like endurance challenge, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, sign me up. Yes, I'm in. No sooner did I say yes, I was like, oh my God, what did I just agree to? It's one thing to be a fitness competitor, like train to pose in my swimsuit, because all your training is happening beforehand. It's about the way your body looks. Posing, you got to have the muscle definition. You got to put the work in. But this was a relay race, and I was on a team, and I didn't even know who my team was going to be. So I didn't even know if I would know the other girls on my team. Mm-hmm. And then I went into panic mode because there's 8 events in HYROX. It's actually super cool. So, and it's one of those things where you're like petrified going into it because it's the fear of the unknown. But then after doing it, it's like, oh my God, that was amazing. So there's 8 events. There is the ski erg, so like a high row. There is the sled push, the sled pull. There's the rowing machine. There is burpee long jumps. Bless the girl on my team that did those, because I was like, don't sign me up for that. There's weighted sandbag walking lunges, and there is farmer carries and wall balls, med ball tosses. But these are like, again, it's an endurance race. So these are not short distances that you're doing. And there's a 1 kilometer run before every single event, and each person has to take 2 events. So it did take myself and my team, it took us a little while. Like we all said yes, and then everybody kind of forgot about it for a little bit. And then as we were like 2 months out, it was like, what events are we all doing? I ended up doing the row machine and the farmer carry. I was like, I got it, farmer carry. And then I looked up the weight, and it was 35-pound kettlebells that you have to carry for the length of 2 football fields. That's 70 pounds. Y'all, I weigh 110. That's more than half my body weight that I have to carry for the length of 2 football fields. Mm-hmm. And when I started training, doing 25s was actually quite hard for me. It's just my grip strength, like that was a lot. So, and I had never rowed before. Look, I love fitness, but I had never rowed.
Well, that's the thing. I think people just assume, like, we actually talked about this on a call that we did before recording today, how you can be training, you can be so conditioned in one way based on how you're training. And then you can pick up, because, the challenge we are doing right now with a group of people, 21 Day Fix, it's like so many of us have done that several times several years ago, and we're still training. So there's this thing in your mind. I think everyone's like, I should be able to just hop into this program and feel cute. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is kicking my ass. And it's just a testament to, you can be really conditioned and well trained, but it doesn't mean that another style of fitness or whatever, that you aren't going to feel like you need to train for that differently.
Right. And by the way, that like applies to life. I think this is, I always say fitness is like the training ground for life, because look, you could take that into work. You could be really well versed in one type of business, and then you could lose a job or decide you want to move on to a different field. And then you could feel like a fish out of water, even though you might have 20 years of experience behind you in one type of business. It's like, well, if you pivot to something else, you're still new at that. Mm-hmm. I have endurance training because of several of my programs. 21 Day Fix has endurance training, 9 Week Control Freak. So I definitely have the type of training. But the cool thing with HYROX is, again, it's 8 functional exercises that make up the event. And I know you and I talked about this. We'll get into it more, but was just like, you saw every fitness level, every body type. People could do the entire event on their own. They could do it as, like I said, partners. It could be co-ed, or you could do a relay team. Relay teams could be all men, could be all women, could be co-ed. I just thought that was very cool, that we saw so many types.
Me too. Like, honestly, after seeing it, I want to do one. I had FOMO the whole time. I was like, I wish I was a part of this. And I felt inspired by, some people, when they see certain body types, can feel it can make them feel insecure or maybe triggered, I guess. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But for me, when I see like fit, athletic looking men, I feel inspired to, like, I think I really was just thinking, wow, this is people who this is what happens when you commit to training and just working toward making fitness an active, constant part of your life.
Yeah.
And so it was just a reminder, because that reminder is not always there. You're reminded to, you're constantly thinking about like what you're going to eat, what you're going to do for fun, what, like all kinds of things. But making fitness a part of your lifestyle is really the only thing that achieves those kinds of results. And I always have a little backup plan in my head, like, maybe I'll just get this nipped and this tucked and this sucked out. You know what I mean? But it was a reminder, nothing is as rewarding and can really give the results I want other than being committed to that lifestyle. So now I want to do all the...
I'll do it with you, but that means we're co-ed, and that means I have to do all the guys' weight if I do it with you. Oh, that scares me.
Listen, I'll do anything, but the problem is those burpee long jumps, because...
Well, when you do it as a partner, everybody, both people have to do a portion of it.
Okay.
So like you would do as many as you can, and you would tag me in when you needed a break, and then I would keep going.
Okay.
So there are certain...
I'm just reaching for you.
I'm like, bitch,
like,
you're not
"Who?"
done yet.
Yeah.
You missed
Right.
me. 5 more.
Yeah. 5 more. 5 total. Burpees are my nemesis of all. That's another thing.
It's a burpee down into a full push-up.
Which, though, I prefer the push-up, because the hardest part of a burpee for me is coming out of it and then jumping. It's like the upper part of my quads or hip flexors or whatever just get burned out so fast that I love the push-up, because I'm like, just give me a minute before
You
I
want
have to
a
jump up
split-second
out of
break.
this thing. Yeah.
No, that is not my strong suit, the push-up part. But we'll figure that out when we decide to do it. But here, I want to go back to my training a little bit, because it was so interesting. Like, well, I have so many things I want to say. You pointed out to me that there was like a nice little group of people that were like doubting my abilities to do this. And I actually had people commenting a few times when I was like saying that I was training for it. They're like, aren't you supposed to be doing heavy weight? And I'm like, that's not the event I have. Because I was saying how I was using 9-week Control Freak to train for it. And I'm like, I don't know what, hello, I'm not, like, I know what I'm doing. I got
Exactly.
it. Thank you for your input.
And
it
if
wasn't
anyone
asked for.
doesn't want you to fail, it's you. You're not.
Yeah, I'm not going to train the wrong way.
Exactly.
But the training was really fun to do, to get back into the endurance and stuff like that, and to start to learn how to row. And I had to be really okay with being a beginner. And I even was sharing that because I want people to know, yeah, I have a lot of knowledge and background on training. But if you've never rowed before, rowing is not going to come naturally right away.
Yeah.
And so, I shared it, and it was cool because I did have people that were like real rowers message me, and they're like, oh, tweak this a little bit, or make sure you let your arms come back to the catch, or get your butt closer to your heels. That'll give you more power and stuff like that. So I was like, this is great. Like, I'm not above learning for
Of
sure.
course.
So that was really fun. And Dom loved watching me do it. Like, he would join in, like, because I had the kettlebells in the house. We measured it from one end of my house all the way down and back was one football field. So I had to carry it down and back twice. Dom would put on Rocky music for me.
Oh,
and be like,
nice.
go, Mom. Like, you got it. And so it was cool to actually see my progress. I realize I'm somebody that really loves to have a specific thing that I'm training for. I think that's why I love fitness competitions, because it was like, I can get, like, give me the plan and give me the end goal, and I'm in
You're
it.
putting in the work.
I got it. It's sort of like when I'm just like, oh, it's for my overall health and wellness and fitness. Like, I'm still going to put in the work, but I'm happy with how I look, and I am happy with my health. So sometimes you have a little less motivation, but doubt me. Oh yeah. Hey, haters, all you do is give me fuel.
That's right.
I love it. I'm like, I love being underestimated.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm going to come out winning, but it means I'm going to go in there lit up.
Also, it's like, it is so tired to be sitting on the sidelines and criticize people putting in the work.
Right. Were
to
you
do
there?
something and achieve something. Right. You go enter it. And then, but until then, let people do what they're going to do. But I will say, I tried the walking down and back in your house holding the 35s, because I hold that level of weight all the time, working out, and heavier. But for that distance, my grip was so tired. Like, I was like, okay, this is challenging. And so I'm
Well-
proud of you. And you were training for double, like doing everything you did twice. So you were really putting that work in.
I thought I had to do both my events 2 times through. Like I misunderstood it. So actually, I got a nice big gift when I get there because they were like, no, it's once each. And I'm like, oh,
I got this.
conditioned.
Yeah.
But the other thing that was a little more challenging for me was because in our relay, not everybody's events were back to back. But the 2 that I picked, my events happened to fall back to back. So I had a longer sprint. I finished, I think it was 22:43 or 21:43, like is what it took me to finish the whole thing. But I had to run the kilometer, so that's 0.62 miles. So you run it, and as you finish it, you're running into your and then zone where your event is. So run, and then I would run into where the row machine is. Then I had to row 10,000 meters. Then you come out, you finish your run, and then you would tag in your next person. Well, I had to like go through the tag in line, tag myself in, and start again. So another kilometer run. Then I ran into the farmer's carry, 2 football fields with the farmer carry. You're allowed to set them down, but there's all these rules about like setting them down and not moving them forward. I did not. I was like, I'll be damned. My arms are going to rip out of their sockets before these things hit the ground. Set them down when you're done, back in the exact place where you got them. And then you finish your run and tag in your next person. And D was there, you guys. He's such a rock star, just bestie, cheering me on. Like he was everywhere. It was so fun because I'd be running, and we actually were outside on the pier, which I didn't know that. I didn't know we would be outside.
Yeah.
I thought, and it was kind of cold and windy.
Yeah.
And then 2, our event started at 8:00 at night, but it didn't get to my turn. I was event 5 and 6. I started at 8:45 at night. Like that's late. Like you got the whole day to go. You got to fuel yourself properly. You got to conserve your energy a little bit. I mean, it was 22 minutes, but you are trying to put in a sprint. You know, everybody on your team's going hard. You can't be the one that's like, well, my events are back to back.
Yeah.
Like, no, you got to go. But it was really pretty because as I was running, like you see the city lit up. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty quiet, like on the track, like on the lap that we were doing, because while there were a lot of people out there, everybody was spaced apart. And then I would come around and there would be Donald cheering. And I was like, yeah. And it would be just at the right moment when I was starting to get tired. I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm going for my next lap.
Yeah.
And then I'd get to my event rowing and he's like right there.
Oh, it was wild. You guys, I was running around. I had all these bags. I had a giant autumn head that I was carrying around trying to record my phone. I kept hitting record. It was about to die. I was like, this is a lot. Where are these events? I was dodging people, hitting them with bags left and right. I mean, I feel like even though I didn't compete, I did the work.
You did the work. You did some farmer carries because he didn't just have my bag. He had the bag of 2 other friends as well that were competing. But it was so good. Like, you have no idea how much it meant to me that I would look up and you were right there. Like, as I was rowing, even though I would get tired, it's a lot. And you're going as hard as you can. You're out of breath. And then I was like, Dee's right there.
Yeah.
You know, pushing me. You know, you just got a friendly face. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You could stay positive in the moment if you're getting tired.
Well, I was happy to be there. And I also loved seeing you in that way because I've seen you. We've like worked out together. And also, I and so many people have seen you teaching and the workouts and leading workouts, but being in a challenge like that and just seeing your focus, and also you made it look easy, but it was just so fun seeing you like in there with other people doing it. It was great.
It was. I loved it. And I would definitely be like more than happy to do it again and to try some of the other events that scare me. Mm-hmm. So I do think we should do it. And then afterwards we finished late. We waited for the last person, did the wall balls. We all celebrated. We went back. We had a good little cheat. How good was that soft pretzel?
I was about to say that soft pretzel was so good.
And that cookie.
And the hot melty cookie and the fried chicken. It was like, okay.
I swear I'm into health and fitness.
I guess if it's the celebration.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
And then we had early flights the next morning.
Yeah. It was a quick but very fun trip. But the morning of, before we competed, we volunteered for this organization that started in the 80s, and they really helped people who were affected by the AIDS.
God's Love We Deliver is what it's called.
Okay, thank you. God's
Yes.
Love We Deliver. And they prepare food for these people. And it's
For people that are sick that can't necessarily prepare their own, and they're making sure it's really healthy.
so we got to see, like, that morning we watched a video about their organization and what they do and the people's lives that they affect, which was really touching. And then the whole group from Trend was there, and we all volunteered in the kitchen, and that was really fun.
It was so fun. First of all, a big shout out to Trend. That's my management company, and I just love them to death because they do like such fun events for us. Like for them to be like, let's all go do HYROX together. Like you're on teams. I didn't know everybody on my team. I got to know them, and they're amazing women, and I got to know we got to meet all the other people too. So it was such a fun way to just meet people that are also represented by Trend, but that I wouldn't necessarily meet. But I thought that was so cool that they put that together for us to go volunteer and give back. Like that was such a fun experience. We learned some good meal prepping tips in there.
Honestly, we made this quinoa with topped with peas. I was like, I'm gonna make this at my house. This looks really good.
I mean, they did try to freeze our hands off making it.
It was interesting. I've never prepared something in such bulk.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is like, it's, these giant tubs of stuff but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a neat experience to like see the behind the scenes, to see the kind of work that goes into, and we just saw a piece of it,
Yeah.
but to see like all the volunteers that it takes, as well as their staff members who were there helping us, showing us how to do stuff. It was really cool. I loved it.
It was, so they were saying, I think it's like over 6,000 meals a day that go out. Every single day, over 6,000 meals. Can you imagine? Like that's crazy. And so we have an organization here in LA called Hope of the Valley that Body has teamed up with quite a few times. And so I've gone to their headquarters, and the founder has like walked me through what their kitchen does. And again, same thing. Like they showed me all the places where they make all the different things. Like on Fridays, they do pizza, and they do it for Hope of the Valley is for the homeless here. And they have over 10,000 meals like that go out a day. So you just have to think about the level of the amount of volunteers that takes, the amount of people that actually work for Hope of the Valley, that by the time the breakfast meals goes out, those trucks come back in, they pick up the lunch, they take it out, it comes back in, it goes out. Like it's so seamless. And I just think that those people are such angels here on earth because, you look around and in LA, our homeless situation is not good. And then you think about what God's Love We Deliver is doing in New York. And I just think it's so cool. Like fills your cup up a little bit, makes you feel good to go do something.
Yeah. And there's something about like volunteering. It's something that like oftentimes I have the intention of doing and don't get around to, And it was just kind of, it's cool to think about not just the amount of work, but the amount of love that goes into these organizations and literally these plates of food that people are eating, because it takes people volunteering, and that comes from a place of wanting to give and help and just make the world a better place. So it was really cool. And it made me think I need to be more intentional about finding opportunities to volunteer and help organizations that could use help.
Let's
more.
go do Hope of the Valley.
Okay.
I'll reach
I'm
out.
down.
Yeah. Dom wants to go too. Dom's old enough that they'll let him go in the kitchen and prepare meals too.
Sweet.
We can do that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were only in New York City for 2 days. Gosh. What's your favorite thing to do in New York City?
I know. I was like, all this trip did was give me blue balls for New York. I have to go back.
I know, right? I'm like okay. So
a little tease.
little teasy tease.
So honestly, when we just walked around, that fed my soul. We had like a couple hours the day of the competition to walk around, and I loved that. One of my favorite things to do in New York, well, it is all the walking, but I also love going to a show. So I think next time we go, we have to go see a show.
For sure.
That's the only thing really that I missed this trip that I like to check off when I go. Everything else was fun. Food was fine. The provocative hotel room.
We had good food that first night.
Yeah, it was at our
It was
the
at our
restaurant
hotel.
at our hotel,
Yeah.
but it was really delicious.
It was. Might have been more delicious because there was
Yeah. A gummy will make anything delicious.
No, those fries were good. I do like to do a show too. I would say though, my favorite thing in New York City is walking. Like the last time I went, I was with Bobby. My brother lives in New York City, and he's in Brooklyn. And we were just walking around Brooklyn, going to these different matcha houses, like trying different matchas and stuff. And I just love it. Like as we were walking, because it was like a little later in the afternoon by the time I got there, Bobby was like, let's go in this place. And we went in and we had a cocktail. Like I love that so many of the restaurants kept a bunch of the outside seating since the pandemic. Because, you know, then you're just sitting. It kind of reminds me of Europe.
Yeah.
You know, you get that, like, you walk. That's cool. Oh, look at this shop. You go in here. So I am terrible at knowing the island, right? Like I was asking you, I'm like, everybody talks about it being a grid. I don't get it. But here's what I could tell you. I normally stay by Central Park. I normally stay,
That's
Uptown?
up from where we were. Like we were lower east.
Okay.
In the meat packing.
Okay.
District, and yeah, that's upper east is like kind of Columbus Circle. I think is where you like to stay.
That's where I like to stay is Columbus Circle.
Like right where the park starts.
Yeah, except when I first started staying there, I was like, how do you get off this circle?
Just running around and around.
Which street am I looking for?
Yeah. It's like a giant roundabout.
Yeah. I stay at the Mandarin, and it's so funny because I would stay there in the winter and I would step outside and I would ask the doorman, like, okay, which way is, I don't know, East 54th or something like that. And he'd be like, well, let me get you a car. And I'm like, no, I'm going to walk. And he's like, a mile? I'm like, oh yeah. Even in the winter, like I love to. Yeah, I love to walk. I love to go by all the shops that are Upper East Side.
Yep.
There's kind of like the row of all the fun stores.
Oh yeah, like Fifth Avenue, and
yeah,
I love it. I love that also over by where you stay. That's where they do the Macy's Day Parade.
Yes.
So it's fun to see that strip where the park and then the city.
Yeah.
I just love New York. I mean, honestly, I've since that trip have sat on Zillow for like probably collectively an hour just looking at apartments in New York. Not because I'm actually
read my face, Donald.
I'm not on the market, but I just like to imagine like, that would be so.
When our podcast
Yeah.
is known around the world,
When we can have we should just.
we can just have an apartment there that we'll do podcasts from as well.
Yeah. That's the plan. Or when it's really big, we just get a jet like Air Force One. But
oh my God.
And we just do our podcast in the air to and from going places.
It doesn't need to be Air Force One size. I mean, geez.
Well, okay.
I mean, can we?
I'm just trying to dream. I guess
I don't think we got to dodge missiles.
I guess more like Kim.
Kim and Kylie.
Yeah. I'll take Kim's.
She's got the cashmere inside.
Oh, I was like, what? Yeah, cashmere.
Yeah, it's the cream cashmere.
So nice.
I would be like, no, nothing but white food in here. Don't spill
exactly. But I loved being able to really take in while the competition was happening. I loved it was like on this pier, but so you could look and the city was like right there and all the hustle and bustle and all this stuff. And then just looking and seeing this event that was put on, it made me think I really want to get involved in more things like this. And I was just thinking about, you know, how no matter where you like, because you would think, I think people in New York, I don't know, I have all kinds of thoughts about like they get stuck in the little district they're in or probably are so in their routine because transportation's funny or this or that. But everyone just taking a pause from their life, whether they traveled or lived there or not, and doing that competition, I was like, this is where the magic's at. And it was so mesmerizing on the water. Like you said, when you did your lap and you could see the whatever the other across the water was, I don't know, New Jersey or something, whatever is over there. And then the city was right there. I just thought this is so special. It was really cool.
You know what? Actually, I don't know if you know this about HYROX or not. So this is a 3-day event. Like that thing went on all weekend long because of how many people enter it. But do you know, it started in Europe and it's put on all around the world. So like there was just one in Paris. I think they do one in Italy. Like, can you imagine being like in another country doing it?
It'd be amazing.
Like what? I wonder what you're running past.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what are you seeing?
What are you seeing? Like, how cool is that?
I bet there's people who do all of them and you start to know people.
Oh,
like
I'm sure.
it's just really cool. And it's just a reminder for me, like my biggest takeaway from the trip was to do the difficult, challenging thing. Like believe in yourself enough to prepare for it, work hard, even if there's a chance like that it's going to be challenging, that maybe you won't do as well as you want to, or whatever it might be, just do it anyway and do your best. And it was really cool to be in that energy and around all of those people who said yes to making that kind of decision and doing it.
Yeah. And I think you find the pride, like you said, the pride comes in putting in the work. Yes, you're proud while you're doing the challenge and when you finish it, but really the pride all comes from the preparation to show up. It comes from facing the fear to show up. You know, like there were moments where I was like, oh, maybe I should just back out of this. In fact, I had a moment where I could have backed out of it because I got invited to walk in Miami Swim Week in Florida. And it was the same day as the HYROX. And that ask came through Trend. They reached out to my management company and they're like, we'd like her to walk in this show. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, I already committed to the team and I've been training. And I sort of talked back and forth with my management about the opportunity and if it made sense. And ultimately, the decision was mine. And it was really hard to say no to Miami Swim Week. And I hope that opportunity comes again. But I was really excited and already had committed to the team and to myself. And I was like, if I don't do this, I'm going to wonder if I could have.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be mad at myself for not having followed through with that commitment that I said I would do. So yeah, it's one of those things where you said it in our group the other day. You were talking about like seeking out the discomfort. And I say it all the time. I'm like, you cannot sit in that comfort zone. Like, you've got to get outside of it. You've got to want to embrace the discomfort. David Goggins talks about it a lot. I love him. And, he's all about finding the spot that challenges you because that's where all your growth is going to happen. It's what changes you. Yeah. So it is really easy to be like, okay, I'm doing this fitness thing, or okay, I'm comfortable here. But can you think of something? Like, can you search it, right? Like what might interest you, or what might challenge you, what might push you just a little bit, and show up for it.
Yeah. I'm working with someone who's going through our challenge, but I'm working with them one-on-one also. And they have started using the expression that they just say, run straight into the storm. Because for them, they're like, if you try to avoid it, if you wait till it calms down, if you wait till a perfect moment, it just affects your life longer and more negatively. And so she's talking about her workouts, but for her, this is a big challenge, just that adding these habits in her life. But she wakes up, she drinks her water, she brushes her teeth, and she's like, and I run into that storm. And I think that's just so true. Stop trying to avoid the thing that scares you or challenges you. Because you know what? You did that HYROX competition with a top that looked like you put it on backwards. And I was so proud of you and the girls. You all did so well.
There was a moment. You guys, first of all, the sports bra is super cute and I love it. It's from Fabletics. I will wear this again. But it had a little, like, I maybe should have picked one because they gave us a choice of ones to pick. And I was like, I want this cute one. There was a moment when I was doing those farmer carries that I was like, and the cameraman from HYROX was following me. And I kind of glanced down because I was like, is my nipple out?
Are we good?
Are we good? I was like, am I in place, or are they going to film me with my tata hanging out?
Do they have a name?
My
tatas?
boobs?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to
my
name
friend
them?
used to say that she named hers. This was Helga, this was Olga, and Jaja. I was like, okay, girl. Anyway, the girls stayed in place. They did exactly what they needed to do. They were ready.
They were like trying to have some fun, but they knew their place. And
That's
that was
right, their
inside that
boundaries.
sports bra. And I loved it. And I love that bra. But yeah, they did almost make an appearance.
It's about showing up, you know?
Yeah, showing up, showing out. That's what I was trying to do. Give them a little show.
You did.
know, people, these poor guys running this whole thing by themselves needed a little something.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say this. So there's a guy in New York. He's a chef, and he has a podcast. I actually was on his podcast years ago. His name's Dan Churchill. Super cool guy. Had a restaurant in New York. I think now he's a chef. It might be at the restaurant at the one in New York. I have to double check. Anyways, I wouldn't say like, oh, we're friends, because it's not like I keep in touch with him, but follow him on social media. Like all, we'll comment on each other's stuff. And but I didn't know he was doing HYROX, because on social, once you start liking something, other stuff starts getting served. And so he was doing it, and he was doing it on his own. And this guy's in phenomenal shape. But as he was doing, I don't know if he did it on the sled push or maybe right before that, he rolled his ankle. And he shared it all. Like I'm only repeating what I saw him share on social. And you could see like he was showing video from when he was trying to keep going with the sled push, and then it was just too much and he had to bow out. He couldn't finish the race. But there's still so much pride to be had. Like things like that can happen. That's life. Life will throw curveballs at you. It doesn't mean he failed. It doesn't mean he wasn't prepared. It doesn't mean he didn't give it his all. I'm sure it's beyond frustrating to train that hard and be ready to go and be in it and then have that happen. But he got so much support from the community. I could tell like people were still like, you did amazing. And you'll get him on the next one. But I just think, again, that's a testament to just life. Life throws curveballs, and sometimes right when you think you've done everything you need to be prepared, something knocks you off track. And you got to just get up and keep go. Like, I'm not saying you get up and keep going with that race.
In that moment, yeah.
You get up and you recover from it, and you still have pride in yourself for showing up for it.
There's a movie that I watched. I'm looking up the title so I don't get it wrong. But it's about this girl. Just a second, because I can't type and talk at the same time.
It's about a girl, you guys. We'll find out the rest here in just a second.
She runs a marathon. I just can't remember her name. But I'll tell you as soon as this pulls it up, if ChatGPT doesn't do me dirty. But it's so cool because the whole thing is about her preparing for this marathon, and I don't want to like give all the specifics, because I really think anyone who's listening who hasn't watched it should watch it. It's called Brittany Runs a Marathon. But there's a moment like that where like all the preparation, all the stuff, like you believing in yourself, and then something happens and you can't do it. But that doesn't mean you never do it. Right. And I just really appreciate that. I think that just because you have an experience, you have a setback, you have something that makes you feel discouraged. One time I was in this isn't a fitness thing, but I was in this like, I basically sang for all of these casting directors at this event, and they were like really into it. So they had a big showcase where the whole convention was there, and they asked me to sing my song. And when I tell you in the beginning thing, I crushed it. People were walking up like, you're unbelievable. You're not already signed with someone, whatever. And then I could give you all the reasons, but just long story short, I really bombed on the main performance.
Oh, wow.
And when those things happen, because every single person who's, to use Brene Brown's words, dared greatly to do something, has experienced those setbacks and those moments where it's like, it does not go at all how it's planned, but
it goes how it's supposed to.
It goes how it's supposed to. And it's a reminder, like, you don't have to be perfect, but I have since sang on and been on larger platforms doing that. And I could have let that be something that said, okay, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm never going to get up there again. Right. But instead it was like, no, I'm going to get up there. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. Because as much as I wanted to blame other circumstances, I did mess up. Like in the main performance. It was really...
Come on. Tell us the story.
Well, okay, so basically, it was just a short thing that I had to sing in the beginning part. It was like maybe a minute and 15 seconds, and they wanted it longer. So the day of, I went with some guy who edited this track. It wasn't to a live thing. And so
Okay.
the track wasn't something I'd really rehearsed. I added a verse. I came in at a different time. I couldn't really hear in the monitor very well. And so I started singing what I thought was at the beginning where I was supposed to, and I was off from the track, and then like tried to ad lib, and it was humiliating. And it was like, and it wasn't just like normal people. It was people in the industry who understood talent, or when things
That you
started
were
going
off,
really
yeah.
wrong. And I was, it wasn't just like, oh, that was a bad performance. I then got the questions because people saw how good the first one was. Like, what happened?
Right.
Why? Like what's wrong with you? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Why did you pull it together?
Yeah, it was really, it sucked. But the point is, those things happen to everybody, even the greatest, like me. And so you still, I'm just kidding.
I love you. No, man.
But
Yeah,
you
be
still,
proud.
You still just, it's like, okay, oops, show up.
Yeah.
Keep going. Like, the life you're going to live is the one that you choose. And so if you start not doing things every time you mess up, then you're not really choosing your life. You're just bouncing around.
Well, it's like the quote, one of my favorites: life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it.
Yes.
So like life is always going to be happening. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean you have times where you're not like devastated by something, but it's how you pick up, it's how you learn from it, it's how you grow from it, it's how you move forward. Mm-hmm. It sort of reminds me of the song by Rascal Flatts, God Bless the Broken Road That Led Me Straight to You. Mm-hmm. And even though he's singing about like a love interest, I feel that way just about all of life's opportunities. I've said this so many times, like how I've ended up at Body and things like doors that were slammed in my face that were devastating. And it's a broken road that leads you right to where you're supposed to be. And so to get to where you're supposed to be, you're going to have to endure those hard times, those bad times, those times that feel like you're failing or you're falling apart to get to the good. And you can't really appreciate the good or even really feel the good if there's never the downside, if there's never the bad. So it's like in those broken moments, in those hard moments, I'm not saying to like fake it or be like, oh, everything's fine. But you'll find the silver lining eventually.
Yeah.
You really will. Like,
if you keep going. So just keep going.
Yeah.
Yep.
New York City, baby.
I'm here
I
for
love it. It's an inspiring place.
It really is.
Let's plan our next trip.
Okay.
Now, listen, if y'all live in New York City, if y'all have been to New York City and there's something really cool is there something underground that we don't know about that we should go do in New York City?
Tell us.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
We need to know. There's supposed to be one of those bars where you go through like the phone booth kind of thing, speakeasy. That's supposed to be like super cool, popular.
Oh, I'm down. When we went to New York the first time, I went like through some closed down restaurant, kitchen, closet, stairway into this underground club. I was like, where am I?
What's our bathroom?
I feel like there has to be, there has to be all kinds of places like that. So let us know because we're here for it. We're here for the adventure.
I think we're going to plan one more trip. Maybe we'll do it before the end of the summer.
I'm here for it.
Let's do it.
I would love that.
Oh, me too. That would be so fun.
Yes.
Autumn and Donald take on New York City.
Yes.
Minus the fitness competition.
Right. We'll get steps. It's fine.
All the steps. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Everything's Perfect. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment or a review. And if you want to get in touch with us,
Then hit us up at everythingsperfectpodcast@gmail.com. And we have something new that we're starting. Our Phone a Friend segment where you let us know your different things you need advice on. Maybe you're having a conflict with another friend or a family member. You just don't know how to handle a situation. We're your besties who are here to give the best advice we possibly can. Sometimes it might not be the best advice out there, but it's the best we got.
we're going to give you the best, worst advice or the worst, best advice
you've ever
had. So email us everythingsperfectpodcast@gmail.com because those Phone a Friend segments, originally they were going to be within the podcast, but we're getting so many of them. And sometimes it takes a little longer to give some good, bad advice. And so they're going to be their own segments.
Yeah, we're going to have separate segments for those Phone a Friends. So reach out, let us know what's going on. And until then, we'll see you next time.